What up, y'all? On today's video, I'm doing a review for Beyonce and Jay-Z, or I guess the Carters' new album, Everything Is Love. Y'all ready? It's lit.
I came to vibe, you came to function, just do that, baby. Don't worry about nothing, no. I came to vibe, you came to function, just do that, baby. Don't worry about nothing, no.
Yeah, what up, everybody? It's your boy Bright here, the R&B kid, and you're tuned into another episode of On the Bright Side. But if this is your first time on my channel, please go ahead and make sure you click that subscribe button, because on this channel I talk all things music and entertainment while always keeping things positive and always trying to find the bright side of everything. And then after you hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit the bell next to it so you can get the post notifications. So every time I post a new video, you're gonna see it, okay? Cool. Alrighty, y'all, so this is the moment we all been waiting for. This is what we all been waiting for. Alright, it's not that deep, but it's kind of deep. Beyonce and Jay-Z just dropped their first collaborative album ever in history called Everything Is Love, and they're going by the artist name The Carters. To me, this is like low-key a watershed moment in history. This album literally dropped out of nowhere. Nobody knew it was coming. I don't know how Beyonce and Jay-Z continue to execute so well in terms of keeping things under wraps. You know, just you know, working behind the scenes and then just putting shit out when it's ready. It's just crazy. Like, they are top tier level executors in the music industry, and we've seen it again now with this new album, Everything Is Love. This album literally dropped on Saturday afternoon on June 16, 2018. I was in the middle of a cookout. I was getting turned. I was having fun all day, so first of all, I thought it was a song they dropped. I think I saw something about it on Twitter, and I just thought a song dropped, but then one of my friends was like, no, they dropped the whole album. I was like, wait, what? They dropped the whole album? They finally dropped it? I was like, damn, because honestly, I believe this album would come, but I didn't actually think it was gonna ever really come, especially because they already started the On the Run tour too without dropping this album, so I thought it was kind of a dub for the album. But the album is here, y'all. It's 9 tracks long. They put it out on under SC, which I'm pretty sure is Sean Carter Enterprises, and Rock Nation and Parkwood Entertainment, all under Sony. I already listened to the album, so I'm not going to do reaction for you guys because I didn't want to catch a copyright, but I am going to give you guys my thoughts on the album. So you know, Beyonce and Jay-Z, the Carters, Everything Is Love. Y'all ready to get into it? Let's do it. Okay, y'all, so the album started off with the first track, Summer. I thought this was actually like a great way to open the album. It kind of especially Beyonce's part took me back to like her like 4 album. It really took me back to like when she's really had like her most like R&B, jazziest throwback soul. I love the instrumentation on this song. It was beautiful, so well done. Shout out to Cool and Dre. Cool and Dre produced like 3 tracks in the album. This one, 713 and Black Effect. So I love the instrumentation that they had on this song. It was beautiful. I love when they were like, let it breathe, because it's just such a breezy summer track. You know, it's called Summer. I think this is gonna be a summer anthem. This is gonna be a lover's anthem. It's to me, this is probably one of the most timeless, probably the most timeless track on the album. Yeah, like I said, I really loved Beyonce's part, especially because I felt like she really took me back to her 4 era and to just like when Beyonce was really like on her really jazz, like R&B soul shit. But I have to admit though, I think this is a prime example, one of the prime songs where I could definitely see why people were arguing that Jay-Z didn't need to be on the album, because I definitely enjoyed a lot of Jay-Z's verses throughout the rest of this record, but to me, Jay-Z's verse on the song was whack, and I feel like it was whack that Jay-Z's verse had to be like one of the wackest on the intro song. I feel like the intro song, Jay-Z should have came like out the gate swinging, and I felt like he was kind of weak on this song, but you know, he was still there. He's on every track. But yeah, to me, Beyonce's the one that shines more on this song. And I thought also it was interesting how Jay-Z talks about how like he knows his own music makes his kids fall asleep, and I thought that was funny because I feel like it was mad awkward. It's like, damn, Jay-Z's pretty much like, he's like, yeah, I know I'm like old and my music is like, you know, for the older folk, and you know, kids ain't checking for it. But I thought it was awkward, but I also thought it was cool that he could be real about it and that he knows it and that he could just, you know, he can claim it. Like, he's like, I know my music will make my kids fall asleep, but whatever, it's still good though. So you know, shout out to Jay-Z for that. But yeah. Okay, y'all, after this first track we get the second track called APESHIT. This is the track you guys have all been hearing. This is the one they put the only visual out for the album out so far. APESHIT is amazing, y'all. I'm telling you, this is one of those songs where I just loved it the first time I heard it. This beat is crazy. Shout out to Pharrell. The fact that Pharrell is still out here, I'll say it again and again. I've said it so many of my other videos. The fact that Pharrell is still here producing heat and still producing fire this late into his career, like, it's just insane to me. So APESHIT was amazing. I love that record. Shout out to Pharrell on a beat. And I have to say, like, a lot of people I think have an issue with this album because it's so like trap heavy, and this song is a prime example. But I really, especially with this song, I just feel like even though Beyonce and Jay-Z really like gave into the trap wave in a way, I really don't have a problem with it because I feel like they've just done it in their own way, and they've done it in a really good way. I just feel like the way Beyonce was just rapping on the song, and you know, Jay's verse, and the way Migos just came in and brought up the energy. I'm very happy for Migos, by the way. Shout out to them for getting on the album. You know, Migos in the background with their ad-libs that always get you turned, and then B&J on the trap wave. I just feel like they made it work. It wasn't corny, it wasn't overdone, it wasn't like they weren't doing the way everyone else is doing it. They really did it in their own way, and it was creative, and it was knocking. When you have this crazy beat, Jay spitting one of my favorite verses on the album, Beyonce spitting a crazy verse, Migos in the background just bringing the energy up, it just becomes this big concoction of just a dope track. I'm so glad this song became the single for the album, the first single so far. I feel like it's the perfect choice for the single. This song is gonna take over the summer. I just love this record. It's bananas to me. And I also, like, in Jay-Z's verse, I also love when he took shots at the Super Bowl and the Grammys. I say, Jay, you better fucking come out here and throw shots at all these institutions. He said, Super Bowl, I don't need y'all need me. And it's true. And he said, tell the Grammys, fuck that open A shit. Have you ever seen a crowd going ape shit? I say yes. I love that line, yo. In case you haven't seen my video when I reviewed the Grammys, I'll probably put the card up here. Go check out that video. I talked about how I think it was crazy offensive how Jay-Z picked up no Grammys at the 2018 Grammy Awards. He was nominated for 8, he picked up 0. Just like Rihanna and Kanye West were nominated for 8 last year in 2017, and they all picked up 0. I think that's insane and incredibly disrespectful to be nominated for 8 Grammy Awards and you don't pick up one single one. That's just ridiculous to me. So fuck the Grammys, fuck y'all for that. Or fuck all y'all voters who didn't give Jay love in any category that he was nominated in. Fuck y'all. Jay's Grammys literally all went to Kendrick or to Bruno Mars, and I just thought that was a force. So shout out to Jay for saying that. I loved it. It was everything. But yeah, like I said, guys, this track is out of this world. Definitely one of my favorites on the album, and definitely one of the highlights off the album for me. Love this track. And the video, everything. Everything. To have J and B, all that black excellence at the Louvre in Paris, one of the dopest landmarks in the world, just doing their thing. They rented out that whole bitch to shoot a fucking music video where they just dripping in black excellence. Like, come on, man. That shit was lit. Come on. I love being black, yo. I love being black. Whew, man. Okay, yo, after the track APESHIT is the track Boss, track 3. Also one of my favorites off the album. I'm sorry for my guy Demal. Demal is one of the producers on this track, and for you guys don't know who Demal is, Demal is one of my favorite producers. I love his sound. He's the person, I always recognize his sound because he has like the harmony and the production that you hear at the beginning of the song. That's Demal. Like, he has a certain sound. The do 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 da do 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 da do. As soon as I heard that production, I already knew it was Demal because he has that sound that I can recognize easily. I love Demal, one of my favorite producers. I'm happy for him that he got on this album and he killed it on this track. We also had Mike Dean and Mellow X on this track as well. And pretty much Jay-Z and Beyonce produced like all these tracks as well. But I love this track Boss, one of my favorites on the album. The harmonies at the beginning are insane, like I said before. The harmonies at the beginning are everything. Beyonce, and I don't know if it was Beyonce or whoever was doing the vocal harmonies at the beginning of that track. I loved it. I think Demal probably created it, but it was amazing. I really would love to have Boss as a single for the album at some point. I think it deserves it. It's one of my favorites off the album. I think it deserves to be a single. And I also love this track because I feel like it was probably one of the most autobiographical tracks on the album. You know, Beyonce's talking about how she's gonna drop her daughter off at school, and how her great-great-grandchildren are gonna be rich, like how they're already rich. I was like, that's just if that shit don't inspire you, then there's something wrong with you. For Beyonce to be like, yeah, my great-great-grandchildren are already rich, like, that should inspire you to want to be on your shit so you can say the same thing for yourself. Like, that shit was inspirational, a dope line, and very true, very true. And you know, in terms of the production, I just love the brass and the horns, especially at the end of the song. I just feel like it just brought it to a new level. So yeah, so this is definitely a highlight for me. I really love this song. I just loved how J and B were talking about their life in the Dope Awareness record, and I just loved I love the simple hook, and I love the production. So I can't say enough about this track. Definitely one of my favorites off the album. Shout out to Boss. Okay, after that is track 4, Nice. This is the second song produced by Pharrell on the album. Pharrell also did his thing on this song. I'm not gonna lie, when I first heard Nice, I thought it was weird as fuck, especially at the beginning. When I first heard it, I was like... I listened, I was like... Okay, what the fuck? Like, this is mad weird. And then once I heard it again, I was like, okay, no, I can really get into this. Like, it's actually a vibe. Shout out to Pharrell in production. And I love the hook. Like, cause I'm nice. I give you life. Like J and B, they just know what to do and they know what to say on a record. And this, I feel like it's one of those songs where it was really trappy and like really of the moment, but it was done in a good way. Pharrell like made the production not too in the moment, and I just loved what Beyonce and Jay-Z did with the arrangement of the song. It was very interesting, very current, very hype, but also very smart at the same time. And you can't tell me you won't go, like, you can't tell me you won't get down if you hear the song at a club, at a party, at a cookout, whatever. You can tell me this song won't come on and you won't be like, cause I'm nice. Like, you can't tell me you won't go off when you hear this song. Come on, don't lie. So for all the motherfuckers who are saying this album too trappy, I feel you, but you can't tell me you won't go off when these songs come on. And I also love it when Beyonce's talking about how she didn't put Lemonade on Spotify because she's not worried about the numbers and the clout, whatever. I was like, that's dope. Like, you know, at the end of the day, Beyonce still never put Lemonade on Spotify, and it was still one of the biggest albums of 2016, and still one of the biggest albums out ever since it's come out of this current era of music. So shout out to Beyonce. She pretty much said, listen, if I had put my album on Spotify, it would have been over. So I don't need to prove nothing to y'all, and I love that. It was amazing to see Beyonce just talk her shit like that, and it was on point. She was like, fuck you, you're cool, fuck you. Yeah, this album was really creative, and this track was really creative too. I just love how Beyonce and Jay-Z just like kind of show, Jay-Z not so much, but I love how Beyonce kind of just showed a different side of herself, really just talking her shit, really getting on her hip-hop vibe. I think that's what I love most about this album, was just the fact that I think this was Beyonce trying to give us her best version of, you know, her being on a hip-hop album. She's always given us R&B pop albums time and time again, but I feel like this is Beyonce's first time saying, listen, I want to give y'all a real like hip-hop album. I'm gonna sing on it and I'm gonna do my thing, but I really want to give y'all a hip-hop album. So I really love Beyonce for that. I feel like this is one of those tracks that really just showed that on the album. So this was definitely a cool track for sure. Alright y'all, so 713 was track number 5. This also to me was like a highlight off the album, especially production wise. I love the sample of Still Dre. That was dope to hear that in the hook. I loved it. And I also just feel like the beat was knocking. Shout out again to Cool and Dre. They did a thing with the beat. The beat was knocking, probably one of my favorite beats off the album. And I just also thought it was cool, and it was just dope, and it was funny to hear about how Jay got B in the first place. I feel like he was really outlining the story of how he like got her, but then like almost lost her, but then had her again. So it was cool to hear the love story on a rap track in a very creative way. So I love that. And I just loved after I loved how Jay was explaining how he met B. I also loved how at the end of the track they slowed it down and they had like more of like a jazzier beat, and Jay-Z was like talking about black queens and black women and empowering them. And it kind of came off as like somewhat, like, I'm not gonna say contrived, but it did come off as somewhat like, okay, whatever. But we've heard this a million times, though, black women everything, black queens everything. But I really appreciate it for what it was. I thought it was a nice part of the album, and I just really think this track was just done well from beginning to end, and definitely one of the highlights for me. Okay y'all, here we go. I have to talk about it. Track number 6, Friends. This is one of my favorite songs off, probably one of my favorite songs off the album. This song, guys, is a new generation anthem for friendship and just friends. To all my friends out there, y'all know who you are. Like, to all my friends who are really my friends, like, for real, I love y'all, and I dedicate this song to y'all. And like I said, yeah, this is just a new anthem generation for all friends out there. This track was done so well, and to me, it's one of the best songs off the album. The harmonizing at the beginning was just A1, out of this world level. Beyonce's harmonizing on this track was everything. I love the vocal arrangement, the vocal patterns in the song. It was just so hypnotizing and so good to listen to. I just love the melody that they chose on this record. I love how it was like low-key and like really late night, smoothed out vibe, but it still was an impactful message about the importance of friendship and friends helping you get through all types of situations in your life. And I feel like Beyonce and Jay-Z were talking about how their friends were definitely instrumental helping them get through their marital struggles. And I know Matt can relate to your friends help you get through all the deep shit that goes on in your life that you can't really handle by yourself. So shout out to friends, and shout out to the art of friendship. It's to me, friendship is one of the most important things in life. I feel like I'm a very independent person. I'm always on my own vibe, but like I love my friends, and I feel like friends are one of the best things about life. You know, it's one of the most important things about life, and I just feel like this track was such a beautiful dedication to friendship. And yeah, it was definitely one of the highlights. Definitely one of the highlights for me. I also was in love with Jay-Z's verse. It was probably one of my favorite verses of his on the whole album. I just felt him. I felt that nigga. I just felt like when he was talking about how, like, I forgot what he was saying, but he's like, if you're not gonna he's talking about like Tata and all of his other friends, like, if you're not gonna be here for me after my struggle, like, then you're not really my friend, and I don't want to see you, like, you can be out. Like, that was dope. I probably didn't say it that well, but like Jay's verse was just such a highlight for me. I felt what he was saying, and I just it was just one of the tracks where you listen to it and you really learn from it, and you're like, damn, like, Jay talking about some real shit on his record, and I feel like I need to make sure I'm keeping my circle tight, and I need to make sure that the friends in my life are really my friends, and that we're really doing right by each other. So that was just dope for me. And also the high notes at the end by Beyonce was just dope to hear. Like, I can't do this shit, but yo, when Beyonce killed those high notes, I was like, man, that cements this track being one of my favorites off the album. So I know that all I was saying, Beyonce only sing on this album, but at the end of the day, this is really a hip hop album. It's not an R&B album. So, but Beyonce still gave y'all vocals at plenty of points on this record. So yeah, Friends, definitely one of the best tracks off this album, for sure. Okay, y'all, track number 7, Heard About Us. This track was cool. I think a lot of people really like this song. To me, it wasn't a highlight of the album for me, but definitely an enjoyable track. There's not one track of this album that I didn't enjoy at all. But to me, this wasn't a highlight, but I definitely enjoyed this track. It was nice. It was nice to hear Jay and B just, talking this shit, talking about, you heard about us. Don't act like you ain't heard about us. So that was cool. I really liked the end of Jay's verse. The beginning of his verse was alright, but I really liked the end of his verse more. But I think what I liked most about this track was that it was just so breezy. It was one of the more carefree, laid back, breezy, fun tracks on the album. So I'm definitely glad it was on the album, even if it wasn't a highlight for me. But I definitely did enjoy the track Heard About Us. Okay, so after track number 7, we have track 8, Black Effect. This is probably the most woke, like, militant song on the album, and I knew a song like this was gonna be on a Jay-Z and Beyonce album, especially around this time period if it was gonna happen. So I'm glad we got this track. This is a dope track. I thought the intro skit was beautiful with that woman talking about what love is and what it means to everybody in life. I thought that skit was beautiful. It was on point. The message was dope, and it was just so nice to listen to. She was pretty much saying, listen, love, it comes in all types of shapes and forms. Love for your spouse, love for your child, love for yourself, love for God, but they all mean the same thing, but just in different ways. So that was such a beautiful skit. It was so on point, so true. Definitely one of the best parts of the album in terms of just the messaging and delivery of a theme. Really, harping back on the fact that this album really was centered all around the idea of love, especially in J and B's world, and how that love that they really have kept them together even through all their bullshit. But even moving on from that, this song was really just about, black excellence, and it was really just about J and B being proud of their black roots and about how their blackness has impacted their careers and their status in the world. And how I feel like J and B really are like, not poster childs, but they are our premier example of two real ass people in the world who go through the struggle just like we do, but they have they got their money, they got their life, they got their fame, they got their clout, but they go through struggles just like us. But at the end of the day, they are Beyonce's a queen and Jay-Z's a king, just like all of us. We are black people just in general. We are all kings and queens. We are all amazing, and we all have so much to offer to the world. We are beautiful people, and this track was just a celebration of that. And I also thought the dig to Omarosa was funny. He was saying, like, listen, to all my, I forgot what, like, Jay said, we said, like, to all my LeBrons. So he said something about LeBron, like, hyping him up, but then saying, like, something about Omarosa. It was a dig to Omarosa, but I thought it was funny as hell. Because we, black people, we are all, I want to say we're all united, but we do have our Omarosas out there. But it's okay. They still black, but, And I also love how Jason's talking about how, like, to everybody who was mad about him producing the Khalif, I think it was Khalif Browder story, he said Trayvon's story is coming up next, and I thought that was dope. Trayvon's story is coming up next, and I heard that, and I was like, yes, because I've not forgot about Trayvon, and you should not have forgotten about Trayvon. And the fact that there's been a million other Trayvons in the world before him and after him, it's just sad. And I really want us to never forget about the innocent black boys and girls who are literally dying out here for no reason at the hands of incompetent and scared people in positions of power and authority who abuse that power and authority, you know. So this was definitely a dope track off the album. I'm glad it was here. And then just in terms of the musicality of this track, I also just loved I love Beyonce's tone and like her vibe on the hook. I love how it was just like, it was mad gritty and like, you know, she said, put your hands up, fuck a false arrest. Like I just love the vibe of this track. It just made me feel like so empowered. It made me feel like I was on my boss shit. It was just good to hear Beyonce with that grit and growl in her voice. And I think she just handled the hook very well. I love the way they arranged it, and I also love the sample at the end of the track. It was a nice way to slow it all down and make it really jazzy. So this is definitely one of the doper tracks in the album for sure. Okay, and then the album ended off with track number 9, Love Happy. This was an interesting track to end off the album. It was a nice, like, peaceful way to end off the album. This was pretty much, I want to say, like the resolution track to pretty much say, listen, like me and Jay-Z and Beyonce, like, we're in love, we're happy, we're good, we've been through our struggle, we've been through our strife, but we're here, we've made it to the fire, and we're happy and we're in love, and we're looking forward to the rest of our lives. We're looking forward to the rest of our life together. And to me, like, when I was first hearing this track, it just felt really like invasive, and it felt weird because it was like Beyonce and Jay-Z were just like talking about their whole life on wax. Like, you know, Beyonce was like, yeah, you fucked up, like you played me, you played games, but like I love you and we're here. And I was like, oh, it just felt mad weird to listen to it. It's like it almost felt like you were a fly on the wall, seeing a couple like arguing in a bedroom about how like they've done each other wrong, but like now they're good. It was just like weird, but at the end of the day, I still loved it. Cause it's Jay-Z and Beyonce, like come on, like you still love it. At the end of the day, you gonna listen to it and be like, man, this was mad weird. Like I feel like I should not be hearing this right now. But you still loved it. You still listening very closely to every line. So yeah, this track was dope. It was a cool way to end off the album. I love the boom bap style production. I love the drums. The drums are dope on this record. Shout out to Dave Sitek and Nova Wave. And I also just love B's vocal on this one. I really loved the melody she chose. I just love the way she arranged her vocals. And I love how, like, just like the first track, they ended off like, you know, let it breathe. It was dope. They started off the album with a very breezy track, and then they ended off the album with another very breezy track. So I thought it was a cool way to close the album. And it kind of, to me, it just like kind of summed everything up, you know, with the whole album. Like, listen, like I said, we've been through our bullshit, but now we're happy and we're loved and we're good again. We're not perfect, but we're gonna keep working on it, and we're gonna keep living our lives, and we hope y'all keep living your lives too. So that's what I got from this track, and I thought it was a cool way to end the album. And I'm also going to talk about the track Salud. Salud was not on the track, but this was a bonus track that they released as a single, you know, throughout, I think it's on the internet. I don't think it's on iTunes, on Spotify, but it's on the internet as a bonus track called Salud. This track, I don't know if y'all think so, but I actually didn't like it that much. I wanted to like it. I've heard it a couple times. I wanted to like it, but I just didn't really like it that much. I thought it was alright to me. I think it would have fit in with the album perfectly. Like, you know, sonically and vibe-wise, it would have fit in with the album. But I also just feel like I'm glad it wasn't on the album, because I feel like it wasn't, like, it definitely wouldn't have been a highlight for me. If anything, it probably would have been one of my least favorite tracks off the album. So I'm actually glad it wasn't on there. Yeah, not a bad track. The production was cool and interesting, but I just feel like it just was like the least interesting out of all the tracks I heard in this collection of songs. But yeah, it was a bonus track, so I'm, you know, at least I'm just glad it wasn't on the album. So, but let me know if y'all like Salud. Okay, now that I've talked about the album track by track, I'm gonna give you guys my review of the album as a whole. So as a whole, guys, I did enjoy this project. I have to just, you know, talk about the elephant in the room. I think a lot of people's big issue with this album, from what I've been seeing, is just the fact that a lot of people don't really like how Jay-Z and Beyonce just kind of put their life out on Front Street and really like commercialize their life, and you know, pretty much shoved their issues and their resolutions down our throat. And I definitely could understand how people feel that way. I could definitely understand that argument, and I'm not going to disagree with that. But what I will say is that even though I can see why people say that, I also just feel like I'm not that mad at it, because kind of like I said before, I feel like Beyonce and Jay-Z really created this album. They really put it together in a creative way, and it was really done in a dope way, where even though it did feel like, okay, y'all are shoving your lives down our throats, and y'all are really commercializing y'all drama and y'all resolution. Like some, you know, I can understand why some people are like, I don't care about your life, like just give us good music. I can understand that, but I do think a lot of the things that we're talking about this album in terms of their life, even if you didn't really like it, at the end of the day, it was all done over really dope tracks that are really just good musically in and of itself. You know, if these tracks were talking about anything besides J and B's drama, you would still love it. Like it's still a great album that has amazing production, amazing vocal arrangements, and dope lyrical concepts, really creative lyrical concepts, really creative hooks, and it's just fun. And it's I'm not gonna say it's carefree, but it's smart. And I love how I just love how they put it together. These songs are really done well. Like musically, they're really done well. So even if you don't like how J and B were like putting the life out on Front Street, at the end of the day, musically, it's a very sound album. So you have to give this credit for that. You're like, musically, it's very sound. Production wise, you know, melodies chosen, hooks, lyrics. It's a very sound album through and through. So you have to at least give it its credit for that at least. And yeah, man, because this album is knocking, I'm not even mad at it for how like invasive it was in their life, because I'm just happy that Beyonce and Jay-Z are giving us the album that we've always wanted. I'm not gonna like I said at the beginning of this video, I never really thought J and B were actually gonna ever give us an album. I thought they just kind of were not gonna touch it. I thought, you know, obviously I can see Jay-Z and Beyonce recording tracks all the time just for fun, but I didn't actually think they're ever gonna put out our project officially. But now that we actually have it, I'm just happy that we actually have a project for the rest of my lifetime at least to be able to look back on and say, okay, you know what, Jay-Z and Beyonce, they did finally give us an album that we always wanted from them. Because I remember since being a kid, I've always wondered at the prospect of having a Jay-Z and Beyonce collaborative album. Like, what would it sound like? What would it look like? What would it be about? Would it be received well? Like, I've always wondered that, like, since I've been a kid, and since I've been a fan of both of them as individual artists. So now that we actually have this album here, I'm like, wow. Like, I'm just happy that we actually have it here. Like, I never thought we'd see this day, so I'm just glad they gave it to us. And also, I feel like it's coming at the perfect time, you know. So after Lemonade dropped, Beyonce aired out Jay, and then after Jay-Z dropped 444, aired out himself, and also kind of just got on his grown man shit with owning up to his shit, and also giving a lot of us, you know, giving a lot of people in the world game on how to better yourself and how to, and just kind of letting us in his life as to what he's gone through, and to the advice that he can give us from what he's been through in his life. I just think this album came at the perfect time as like the third part in the trilogy to this whole Beyonce and Jay-Z saga of, you know, them going through a lot of shit in their marriage in the past couple of years. And you know, I just think it's the perfect time. They now have their twins, they're now in a good place, they now have resolved their shit, and it's like, fuck it, let's go on tour together and let's drop a dope project. I think it's the perfect timing. And I also think I'm not mad at this album at all, because Beyonce, I feel like, is gonna give us an album sometime in 2019 to coincide with The Lion King. So we can, I'm cool on Beyonce. Like, we're gonna get Beyonce next year. You know, but for now, I feel like this album dropped at the perfect time for us to get a Jay-Z and Beyonce collab album. It dropped at the perfect time before we stopped giving a fuck, and just in time for us to have really still been anticipating it, but also they've not released at a time where we won't really care anymore, and they've also put out a time where like we are just interested enough that it's still good that we have it here. So I feel like they're very smart, and they put it out at the perfect time. Even if this album will not go down as being as timeless as I was hoping it would be, I still enjoy this album for what it is right now. But I will say, the one thing I will admit about this album is that I'm not sure. So I think some tracks will, namely Summer, maybe Boss, 713, definitely Friends is gonna be timeless. I would say most of the tracks on this album will be timeless. I'm not so sure about APESHIT and Nice, but I would say most of the tracks on this album will be timeless. But as a body of work, I'm not so sure if I feel like this album will be a timeless masterpiece like 10, 20, 30 years from now, or just, you know, anytime in the future. But you know, time will tell that. But for now, I really do think this is a great body of work. The only thing is, I'm not so sure if it'll be as timeless as I was hoping a Jay-Z and Beyonce album would be when it finally did come out. So, but y'all let me know what y'all think in terms of how timeless this album will be, not just for now, but like for the future. Like, do you think we can look back on this album 20 years from now and be like, yeah, man, that was, from head to toe, that shit was a classic? Like, y'all let me know what y'all think. I don't think necessarily it will be, but I definitely think this album has tracks that definitely will be timeless. Like some of the ones I said before, like Summer, Boss, Friends, possibly even Black Effect too. Yeah, definitely some timeless tracks in this album, but I'm not so sure about it as a whole. And the last thing I think I'll say about the album, I guess, is that I didn't really notice the Kanye and Kim digs like that much. I sensed them to other projects, but I didn't think they were that deep. But y'all let me know what y'all think they really got into Kanye and Kim on the album. But for me, I didn't think the digs were that noticeable and that deep. But y'all let me know what y'all think. And lastly, I guess the only thing I want to say about this album is that I really loved how Jay and Beyonce really just like I feel like they aired out everything that we were always wondering about them in one project, and I love that. Like you got glimpses of B's part of the story in Lemonade, you got glimpses of Jay's part of the story in 444, but this album was the album where I feel like they just like they both aired out their part of the story in their own way, and they also together kind of reflected on what they've been through and where they are and where they want to go in one project. And I thought it was just a dope culmination of their story, their past story, their current story, and what they think about their future story and where they want their future story to go. So I just thought it was a kind of a dope culmination of everything about them that we've always wondered. They aired out so many things, like Jay-Z with the Super Bowl, the Grammy line. Like Beyonce talking about her kids. There's just so much that we've always wondered about J and B that we've never actually heard on wax, and they just put it out on this whole album and hidden places. So this album is cool because I feel like it has so many layers that you just need to keep peeling back more and more to find out more about their life that you probably didn't catch the first time or you heard it. So that's what I really like about this album. But like I said before, the only thing about this album is that I wish it had like one more track that was like more timeless. Like there's enough timeless tracks in this album, but I wish there was like one more track that was more like Friends or like Summer, or like one more track that would have made it 10 tracks and that would have really added another timeless track onto the album. That's the only thing I wish it had, but for what they gave us, I'm really happy with it. I think my favorite tracks off this album will probably be APESHIT, Boss. I want to say APESHIT, Boss, and Friends are probably like my 3 like go-to tracks of this album right now. But I love every track of this album. Every track is dope. But to me, like my ultimate favorites are APESHIT, Boss, and Friends. But y'all let me know what y'all favorite tracks are down in the comment section, okay? Alright y'all, so yeah, I do think this album falls a little bit short of being a masterpiece right now, but I think this album is just chock full of amazing production, amazing vocal arrangements and patterns, great lyrical concepts, really fun energy, and I really feel like they really honed in on the trap wave in their own way, and they really did it in a dope way. So for that, I really do give this album its props. I do think I'll give this album a 4 out of 5 for my rating. For my rating, I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5. I feel like that feels right. It's not a bad album, it's not a masterpiece, but it's really good. So I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5. But let me know what y'all think about my rating, and what would you give it down in the comments. Alright y'all, so that was my review of the new Jay-Z and Beyonce album, Everything Is Love. I gave you guys my review of every track. I gave you guys my rating of the album. I gave you guys my thoughts on the album, but now let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know what you think about this album, if you like it, if you don't like it. If you think it's a masterpiece, let me know. If you think it's okay, let me know. If you think it's whack, let me know as well. I really want to know. And let me know what were your favorite tracks and what were your least favorite tracks, if you had any. And let me know what you think about this album and what it's saying, what it means for their careers, what it means for the culture right now, just let me know what you think about all of it down in the comment section, okay? I appreciate you. If you haven't already, hit this video with a like. If you watched this whole video and you enjoyed it, hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe to my channel, okay? I appreciate you. And like I always say, guys, live your best life, drink more water, stay woke, and if you're mad or sad, go listen to your favorite song and make you feel better, okay? Go listen to your favorite song. But thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. This has been your boy Bright, the R&B kid. But for now, I'm signing off, baby. Bye, y'all.
I came to vibe, you came to function, just do that, baby. Don't worry about nothing, no. I came to vibe, you came to function, just do that, baby. Don't worry about nothing, no. Relax just a little bit. You don't gotta worry, you can just have fun.